said I'll pick you up at 8. Probably won't be awake. Call yourself an Uber, babe. I'm gonna wait. No, I'll wait. Your eyes give off a toxic vibe, making me lose my mind. That's why I'm sitting in your room. Looks like Lil Uzi Tomb. Thought I smelled a witch, but I feel stupid for your pretty Instagram year span. Planning this night, try to suit up for a scam. I said I'll pick you up at 8. You probably won't be awake. Call yourself an Uber, babe. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. Need you during a sleepless night, but you're too high to drive. I know that if I'm gonna die, no one will see you cry. Thought I smelled a witch, but I feel stupid for your pretty Instagram year span. Planning this night, try to suit up for a scam. I said I'll pick you up at 8. You probably won't be awake. Call yourself an Uber, babe. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. You think I don't know when you're lying. You're at the club and phone's on silent. I'm worried sick, but you don't give a fuck, and my dad won't mess you up. Gotta take my balls and run. Yeah, yeah, and I won't miss too much. Made a share playlist to remind us both of good times. And I'm feeling used, cause for you it was just pure fun. So call me back, don't even try to text. Better meet me back for Uber Black. I said I'll pick you up at 8. You probably won't be awake.
Super Formula Cyanide Academy Racing here at Road America. Well, Cyanide Racing Hub, Racing Hub Sentai, with Super Formulas round 4 at Road America, and by God, is it good to be back after 2 weeks break. We're coming off from a very interesting Formula 1 race and straight into another, was shaping up to be an extremely good open wheelers race. Super Formulas. Here in Assetto Corsa, known for the drama, the amazing racing, the high intense action. And today I don't foresee being any different. We have a fantastic turnout here at Cyanide, with the live stream hosted by yours truly, Mateusz Mike from Let's Go Racing League Hub. Let me just quickly double check the attendance we have here today, and it is in fact 22 drivers out on track today. Do you believe it's 20? It might even be more. 23 drivers out on track here today, which is fantastic thing to see. We're coming just 4 minutes on the practice. Drivers again acclimated to the, well, infamous Road America circuit, one of the more famous tracks that America has to offer. Hosts IndyCar, WEX, well, not WEC, but IMSA races. It's a very fast, very flowing circuit, and a driver's favorite. My personally not a big fan of Road America personally, which could be a controversial opinion in and of itself. But hello, soundtrack. Let me know if anything feels off in terms of audio. But yeah, I just noticed that. I think I turned that down a little bit less. This should be good. But drivers seem to like Road America for one reason or another, and a controversial opinion of not a big fan of it myself. Too many horror stories. But let's move on back to Super Formula. Who do we have? We have Nathan Older coming back, currently P2 in practice, off the back of 4 wins out of 4. Well, out of 4 races he has raced, I believe. Very much in the lead of the championship, leading by a whopping 60 points already, and we are only here in round 4. So Nathan Ola, very high chance for the driver to take home the championship. Oh, I have Canada labeled. Oh, I don't think I had the practice. That's okay. It's been an extremely long and tiring week for myself, so I do apologize. I've been juggling so many tasks, but that's just my personal. There we go. Right, where were we? Ah, yes, the standings. Nathan Oda is very much poised to have take the championship so far, 60 points lead, and so far he's looking like he wants to extend that lead as far as possible. Second place in the championship, we have Johan Karolczak, a driver who has not competed in every single race so far, I don't believe. Yes, he only competed for the, well, no, actually has competed for all of the rounds. I am lying. And Nathan Oda has competed in all rounds as well, coming 4th in Bahrain. But so far, the last 4 races for Nathan, I just gone sailing 4 out of 4 for the last races. So Nathan Oda is the man to beat. But here at Road America, can we see something different? Moving down the standards, we have Victor Bernard in P3, who will not be racing today. He will be doing race director, as the original race director is on holiday. So hopefully Danny is enjoying his holiday wherever he is driving to. Now that's so good. IRL stuff always comes more important. And we have Nicolas Shirin, first for Team Track Titans in 5th place. Isbrand Stoppa in P6, and Sean Fitzgerald in 7th place for Let's Go Racing. Now, is Sean here with us today? Not too sure whether he is racing here today, but we have a returning driver Juniper Makova after a pretty decent finish in Kota, scoring 23 points. Sits in P11. And a solo driver of Juan Gramash, P10, P9 to keep on that. So that's your top 10 pretty much. And we have a grand total of 33 drivers who have competed at some point in the past couple of rounds. So fantastic turnout. So let's turn back to action on track. Tuki Gonzalez takes P1 in practice by just hundredths of a second indeed. With Roland Justin taking P2, Nathan Older P3. These three seem to be within a group by themselves at the moment, shortly followed by Kevin Vanet, a newcomer to the series, I believe. So he's doing all the right things to set himself up for a good debut, and so is Antoine Bun. Boris Shekediev as well, not doing too terribly. So P1 to P6 within 1 second, it always bodes well. Indeed, it's also the more impressive that this is a 1 minute 40 track. It's quite a long track, a lot of chances to make a mistake. So for these drivers to be pretty close to one another, very impressive indeed, and it shows how evenly matched the packs are between P6, well, P5 to P8. Got another 1 second there. So what are the standings now? It looks like we have a total of 25 drivers out on track today, so we will be scrolling down a lot to get to some of the drivers present here today. So correct me if I'm wrong, Victor, but 25 drivers, would that be a record for Cyanide Racing? I am unsure how high we went in Bahrain, whether it was indeed 26 like I'm thinking it is. But still, almost halfway of the season. It might even be halfway of the season. Yeah, pretty much halfway of the season, and the attendance is still going very much strong. So it's very good. A good number of drivers doesn't seem to cover. You're doing much better than Formula One is. Although Formula One is being stingy when it comes to the amount of teams. But free practice is now over, and we're in the waiting time for the qualifying. Qualifying is where we will see the representative lap times. Like practice, never take practice lap times as a gospel. Goes for any racing, WEC, F1, multi-class, whatnot, go-karting. The drivers are testing out setups, fuel loads. Exactly, this is exactly why Cyanide is more interested. Honestly, sim racing in general seems to be way more interesting than a lot of modern sports. We have close nip action. Yes, spec series, but still. The sheer amount of skill that the drivers that we have on this field here alone. I mean, look from P1 to P10 even. Very good amount of drivers. Well, it's like we always said, and we do have a callback from Let Pro Racing. It's not the amount of drivers, it's the quality of drivers. And it seems to me that we have an amazing quality drivers spread between the Cyanide racing. As we've seen throughout, if you watch any of the previous races up on Cyanide highlights, there's so much action. And even for the number of drivers, racing is very clean. But Nathan Older, I believe, no, it's Tuki Gonzalez. Let me pull up live timings. It's Tuki Gonzalez who is the first driver out of the pits. So he's gonna take us slowly around, bringing the tires up to temp. And careful not to scrap too much rubber of the cars. So 10-minute qualifying, quite, well, more akin to Q3. Drivers have very minimum time to set their best lap time. It will be very uncomfortable for some drivers if the first lap they take is not up to snuff. And there's a little bit of excitement in that itself, that yeah, a little bit of excitement as we see only 8 minutes as Tuki is coming across the start-finish straight. So let's ride on board with Tuki Gonzalez on the front wing angle. And this will be a banker lap. You can pretty much hear it was flat out, maybe a single downshift. First proper braking zone and test for the drivers will be turn number 2, followed by another sharp turn 3. So turn 2 and turn 3, even up to turn 1, you're gonna see most of the overtaking action, I have a feel like, especially for this first sector. Like we see heavy braking zone, run as wide as possible. All of that is still within track limits according to Road America's track limits. And here, after the uphill section, we enter the technical section. Final overtaking opportunity here before we enter the carousel, the long right-hander. I'm gonna call it carousel anyway. Tuki Gonzalez currently has the fastest first sector, no one behind him matching it. And you can just feel the high-speed nature of the track. How much concentration this track requires, heavy braking zone, and you're gonna go into a lovely section of sweeping corners. Speed ever increasing, there is no braking zone until now, with the final corner being very crucial on the following straight. A simplistic in layout, one could say, as Tuki Gonzalez sets a 1:39.8, which is a very good lap time, given that in qualifying the drivers do not have push to pass, and we see Nathan Older, championship leader, only managing P3 on his banker lap. Indeed, heavy braking zone. Well, a braking zone after such a high speed section. Very awkward for drivers. Very awkward for drivers. But it's what separates a great driver from a good driver. It's being able to brake and turn the car. Trail braking, a difficult technique to master, but it gives you so much time, because you can brake much later and use the brakes to rotate your car, and it also has the other benefit of preserving your front tires, because you don't have to use as much steering angle into the corner. Rolling just in setting the fastest first sector, but yeah, you don't have to use as much steering angle, because you can use the brakes to steer the car instead of rotate the car. Indeed, once you learn trail braking, it's such a difference. Roland is pushing indeed, so let's turn autocam off and let's see what Roland can do across the finish line. 1:39.907. He lost all that time in sector 3. Ooh, just 2 hundredths behind Tuki Gonzalez with 1:39.884. So that banker lap from Tuki Gonzalez has been pretty good, as Fotis sets P11 with a 42.365. Dziekanski P7 41.505. And given how this high-speed nature of this track and the straightforwardness of the corner layout, the braking zones, save for that one awkward turn in the final sector, you can see how the lap times in around here are pretty tight and how this track is so raceable. Michał Szydlecki setting 2 personal best lap times, but pulls off. Must have invalidated the lap time at some point. Nathan Older is on an outlap, I believe. No, Nathan Older is just crossed the start-finish line according to live timing. So let's drive on board with the championship leader. From the cockpit view, we can almost see how it is for the driver. Looking up the front left, ooh, it's going to cost a little bit of time. Yeah, I would say that the exits around here are very much key. Considering the length of the straights, I mean, even this one, which is a much shorter straight, it's still quite long. Most of the time you're spent on the throttle here, so exit is very much key around here, as Nathan Older is not setting even personal bests in sector lap times, and in fact he's been demoted to P5. Impressive lap times, but it's only impressive enough for P5. Not setting personal best in the middle sector either, and we can see Nathan just pulling off here. Pavel Melnikov, another driver who people may know from Let Pro Racing and Over the Limit Racing. P20 at the moment with his signature very bright liveried car. Let's ride on board with him for just a moment. Firstly, let's check if he's actually on a valid lap time. He is in fact on a very valid lap time, even if ACTV does not say. Drivers either, you can see how little vision the drivers have, all things considered. This massive hood in front of them. Indeed, Mr. Anno is currently streaming, so if you want to see, hit the red button, sky red button, and drive on board with Mr. Anno. Here's your link right there, courtesy of Bikuto. But yeah, as Anno makes his way down the start-finish straight, he puts himself P14 and improves his lap time by a considerable amount, as Matt De Jose with my absolute favorite livery, purely because it's Mitsubishi. I do love a Mitsubishi, and I will drive any Mitsubishi that you give me. In the meantime, Antoine Boone back in the pits in P3. It's not a bad for the championship, as Marcel Beck already racing. Oh, Bartosz just going, Jakinski going very much sideways there through turn number 1. We have 30 seconds left on qualifying. We have Tuki Gonzalez on an outlap, it seems, or making a mistake. It will be qualifying over for Tuki Gonzalez. He will not improve any more time. Drivers behind can improve, but it looks like Roland Justin will not be improving either. Antoine Boone is in the pits. Marcel Beck, the only driver so far, or one of the few drivers, on a valid hot lap. So let's see if on his debut Marcel can put himself very, very much on pole position. And where is Nathan Older? Out here. Nathan Older on a valid lap, it would seem. We're gonna keep an eye out on his sector times, but Beck not making inroads in the middle sector, not even personal best. He's still got a third sector, the sector where you can gain the most time and lose the most time, in my opinion, given the nature of it. Nathan Older still not setting personal bests in sector number 1. And Marcel across the finish line, it will be 140s. Ooh, not even improving on personal bests. Nathan Beck will stay P4, but Nathan Older setting purple middle sector. He's put himself above Tuki Gonzalez's lap time by half a tenth. He just has to nail the final sector to give himself pole position. And so far, Older is the only driver out on track who is able to do that. Coming across the start-finish line, what will the time be? It will be 140.091. Not enough to dislodge Tuki Gonzalez from pole position, but enough to put himself back up to P3. Good lap from Nathan Older when it counted right at the end. And the rubbering in has nothing to do with it. We race with 100% grip from the get-go. So, or at least I do believe that is the case. Indeed, we have top 8 within a second. Tuki Gonzalez takes pole position, so let's just congratulate the driver. For IPK Arrows, so IPK Arrows take home a 1-2 in qualifying. Let's see how it will be at the end of race number 1. Nathan Older takes P3. Championship leader has a lot of work to do in first race to maximize his points. So definitely we will have to look out for the Brit and see what he can do, or if IPK Arrows can prevent him from extending his lead and make the championship a little bit more interesting. Antoine Boone on his debut P4 with Marcel Beck as well in P5, so a very good debut for the pair of them. Antoine with this wonderful, quite striking livery. It's certainly one of the best on the grid, if you ask me. Marcel Beck. So we have quite a lot of beautiful liveries here today, with Kevin Vanet on his debut P7, Eastbound Stopper P6, and this is a driver that we often say has the pace, a lot of pace and potential to be a championship contender. Just needs to nail down his consistency to be able to fully utilize that speed. Same can be said for Juniper Makova. Makova is a very fast. She is a very fast driver, but she lacks a little bit of consistency and is prone to making mistakes. But regardless, you cannot discount her from making a little bit inroads on the championship. And Michał Szydlecki with a wonderful BMW Petronas livery. A callback to BMW Sauber, very much so, given the nationality. And a very lovely helmet on top. And Ciesielski with another motor-sponsored, powered by Honda livery. And we have Dzikański with the Race Sim Studio livery, a very good liveries as well, with Gideon Locke, a quite a lovely livery, albeit could do with a resolution upscale here and there. And Boris Shakiriev with a almost dazzling camel layout. And one of my liveries that I do like is the Mitsubishi powered livery. It is quite a good livery, and I believe it might be using RSS as a baseline, or at least it feels like it. It's a Naruto themed, very clean livery. And Evangelos Peak, I believe, would be Isbrand's teammate. But we now line ourselves up. Tuki Gonzalez on pole, as we've said before, followed by Roland Justin. So we have IPK Arrows 1-2. With everybody else, a lot to do, considering both of them have been getting better and better every single race. So let's see if Tuki Gonzalez can take, I believe, his first win in Cyanide Racing. So, race number 6. Well, indeed, race number 6 at round 4. Here at Road America. We're gonna get underway very shortly. 45 seconds left. 26 drivers. We have gained even more drivers throughout the qualifying session. 26 drivers starting at Formula, or not Open Wheeler, Formula Supreme. This is going to go one of two ways, and I certainly hope it goes the way, well, the way we hope it will. Very clean start, and just like Melbourne in Australia, all the drivers behave themselves for a change. One can hope, I suppose. 17 viewers, hello and welcome to every single one of you. Hope you are having a wonderful day. As I take a sip, 6 lights go on, and they will go off, and we will get ourselves underway. It's a good start for Tuki Gonzalez, it's a good start for Roland. A little bit of wheel spin for the drivers behind as they make their way down into turn 1. Nathan Order already pressuring Roland Justin for the spot number 2. Ooh, there we already have a car flying. Who is that car flying out there? Ooh, more contact. Ooh, this is a disaster of a start. So many cars in the wall here. Bloody hell, we had cars flying all around. Classic open wheeler start. But it looks like vast majority of the drivers have managed to get themselves through. It looks like Isbrand Stopper has been involved in that incident. Isbrand Stopper just cannot get himself away from incidents. And it looks like the race will be restarted. Race director has deemed that it was just too much carnage. We had, I believe, I'm going to estimate about 10 cars out. So it went the way not we were hoping to, but hopefully we will try that again, and hopefully this time drivers will behave themselves, and I will hopefully try and control the drone a little bit on board. So we still count down once again, and remember, and while we're at it, make sure to hit follow for Cyanide Racing. Let's help Cyanide get to the affiliate level 4 on Twitch, and get them to the level that Let Pro Racing is enjoying. So give them a follow, guys. We need 25 more followers to reach the goal. Right. Indeed, 20 people is such a good turnout for Road America. 22 people now. It's fantastic to see as 6 lights go out and 6 lights go off. We have a good start by Tuki Gonzalez. It was a better start by Nathan Oda, already pressuring Roland Justin. Byrne has had a fantastic start. We have drivers already, not even to the corner. Back marker drivers already ending up in the wall, but overall a much cleaner race start, it seems. I'm gonna have to ignore you, chat, for a moment, but I will need to keep an eye out for any contacts that are happening out throughout the race. Drivers already using push to pass just to get themselves away from the pack. I do not blame them for a moment, but so far we have a little bit of a crash down behind. Little bit of wheel smoke. I am not surprised. We have a driver spun around and a lot of drivers taken to the grass. Well, however, most of the... Oh, we have a spinner. That's Michał Szydlecki out on the back, spinning himself down the back. A very costly error this early on in the Grand Prix. So we will see a lot of shuffling down in the midfield. Top drivers seem to have stretched themselves out in such a way. Oh, as Matt goes very wide. Kit just keeps control of the car, well held by the, I believe that is a Philippine flag. I'm gonna maybe rightly or wrongly assume, as Roland Justin under pressure from Nathan Oda. Nathan Oda takes P2, a very crucial move for his championship, getting past Roland Justin, the Hungarian driver. Roland Justin now win the slipstream of Nathan Older down the main straight. Will he think for a move down the inside? He will most likely be on the brakes. No, not enough of a braking zone for Tuki to make his way as we see battles down the main straight. Ciesielski had a very bad exit and is now being swarmed by almost every driver behind him, plummeting all the way down as Nathan Older made a mistake. Nathan Older making a mistake, dropping down to P4 and under pressure from Eastbound Stopper as well. So a disastrous second lap for the championship leader. Yeah, all the way down to P5. Tuki Gonzalez is shaking out very early on. 1.8 second lead. He's got rear gunner Roland Justin behind him. Oh, we have pileup, 4-car pileup here. That is a one in the pits. The back of the pack not having the cleanest of races so far. So a disaster for every single driver involved, and a blessing for anyone behind that was not involved. As we see Boris Shekeryev for Hexa AF Racing staying in touch with Imran Shaikh, who is using push to pass, but Boris is not, and still able to stay in touch. So a good strategic move by the Bulgarian driver. And we have Dziekanski spinning, most likely touching the grass, luckily not taking anyone out and staying in control just enough. These cars do not have DRS. They have a feature called push to pass, where for a couple of seconds drivers have, well, a limited use of extra horsepower. So for, I believe, about 10 seconds and 10 uses per race. You press the button, you get an increased horsepower, and you have limited uses of 10, and I think it's 60 seconds cooldown. It's a little bit like ERS, though it's a limited time and you don't regenerate it. Eastbrand Stopper deep on the brakes as he attempts a move on Beck. Still manages to pull the move off, very likely, and even more woes for Nathan Older as he's now back in P6. So whatever's happening to the championship leader is just not going his way. And it did sound, and it did look quite promising, making move on Roland Justin, which would have been very crucial and would have allowed Nathan to chase Tuki Gonzalez, who is still maintaining that 1.8 second gap lead over Eastbound Stop at the moment. Oh, and Marcel goes very wide sideways, manages to hold it. Good car control to not spin it into the wall, but that is a crucial big mistake for the German driver. Now under pressure from Nathan Older, who uses push to pass to get himself by, and you can see the speed difference that you can see, or that push to pass gives you. Nathan Older putting himself back to P5. Ciesielski, I believe Ciesielski has been so far staying more or less out of trouble. Mostly, I believe he is just getting to grips with the car. But still running well and managing to avoid the biggest of troubles which seem to have plagued the back of the pack. As we see, Ciesielski, just as we pull away, improving to P14. So let's stay with him. Asteza Alexandrov goes very deep on the brakes, manages to get the car stopped in time. But Ciesielski gets a much better exit. It's got the inside line for the following corner. Gives plenty of room to Alexandrov and retakes P14. Good driving by the Polish driver. And Nathan Older onto the back of Antoine Bun. Or Bun. Not sure how you would say this surname in French. Let's go on to my favorite camera angle. as we see the gearbox of Antoine Boone and Nathan just going too wide. That's going to prevent him from exploiting any sort of slipstream, especially since his push to pass is on cooldown and Antoine has used his push to pass to pull away. And you can just see on the straight that gives you as we see Cesar Alexandrov into the wall, into the grass, as we see Krzysztof as well. Oh, that was a dangerous rejoin. I can see what Krzyzewski was doing, but unfortunately that did not look very safe. So Ryan Justin catching Tuki just by a little bit, but the top 7, Juniper Makova arriving on the scene now. She's gonna look to she's in a good position to secure herself a top 5 finish, which is as we see Spitzlam in the wall, or in the grass even, and recovering from there. See Marcel Beck attempting to make his way back up to P5, or Nathan, Nathan with the inside line. Ooh, again Marcel just struggling for grip in that corner. That would be turn number 9. Marcel just struggling for grip in that corner. Seems to be losing the rear every single time, and it's just not helping his lap times, not helping his race. Ignore what the live timing is doing. It is what it is. So let's ride on board with Juniper as she chases down Marcel, who seems to be losing ground bit by bit. Is it turn 12 officially? I don't see where they got that from. I will not entertain any. I will not entertain American naming system because it makes no sense. Anyway. Okay, then it's not a corner. It's very weird. The Americans seem to vary state by state on how they name their corners. So, in one track, I think it was Sonoma, 3 corners are called one corner. But here, a kink is a separate corner, like the 1 degree. So, I'm just gonna ignore what the Americans refer to their corner names. And Roland Justin now onto the back of Tuki Gonzalez as we're, well, explaining how wrong Americans are with the corner names, or inconsistent, or whatever. Roland Justin now under a second behind his teammate. So will we see team orders? There's only 10 minutes left, as Tuki sets the fastest lap time, so most likely trying to respond to his teammate. Oh, there we go. Oh, thank you, Johan. Weren't you supposed to be racing? Oh, as we see Tuki making a mistake and Roland Justin sailing on by. Will Tuki fight it? Will we have team orders, or where are they going to fight? Let them fight like Ferrari would. Go away, cat. So we might still have a battle for first place, and that mistake by Tuki has allowed Eastbrand to close in under 1 second. So a race for first is only just beginning with 9 minutes to go. All top 3 drivers using push to pass onto, well, pretty much a back straight. There is no drama that can happen here unless you have a car very loose. Indeed, there was good room for results. Nathan Older is not having the race that he needed to extend his championship lead. In fact, his championship lead might shrink a little bit to Tuki Gonzalez and Roland Justin. And knock on wood, Eastbound Stopper is on for a good result, but let's not give him commentator's guess as Pit Slam goes into the pits and we see a freeway battle down for P16, P15. Pavel Melnikov making a move on Bobby. Well, that was very close between these two drivers. And it still is very close between these two drivers. Ooh, Bobby goes very sideways. So, it seems that drivers are really struggling with the rear grip into that corner. Turn 12, turn 10. If you want to go by the correct numbering scheme. Turn 9. But yeah, drivers just seem to struggle for grip. Maybe just setting it up too stiff on the rear, too much rear ARB. But I'm not surprised why drivers would go with that setup, given the high-speed nature of the circuit, as Alexandrov is off again, down in P20, not having used any of his push-to-passes, so he could go for a late surge if he really wants to. Roll and Justin squeezed onto the grass, or takes onto the grass. No team, that just solidifies there's no team orders, pushing his teammate very much wide. Tuki has to go across the grass. Very dangerous game these guys are playing for teammates. And Eastbound Stopper just bit by bit closing the gap, sniffing the first win in Cyanide Racing. But here we can see Roland Justin push to pass on cooldown, which allowed Tuki Gonzalez to use his push to pass very wide for Eastbrand, which allowed Tuki to pull away with his push to pass. So we can see the different strategies that this track allows for drivers to use. At what point do you use your push to pass? Do you save it for later while your opponent is on cooldown? Oh, he's brought up very sideways. That's not going to help his lap time. He's lost about 8/10 through that mistake itself and put himself under pressure from the newcomer Antoine. 5.5 minutes left to go. 3 more laps, around 3 more laps, maybe 4 left of the race. And we see Eastbrand Stopper using his 4th, 6th push to pass to try and close the gap onto Roland Justin. Roland Justin doing the same to maintain the gap and close himself to Tuki Gonzalez. Tuki saving his for the end of the lap. Oh, very deep for Roland Justin. Goes onto the grass. Again, Marcel Beck just struggling in that corner. Every single lap we've seen him. Every single time we've seen him through that corner, he just loses the rear. Indeed, but what I'm referring to is Tuki Gonzalez now used his push to pass to pull himself away from Roland Justin and pull himself away from his teammate Slipstream, which seems to be working out very well for Tuki Gonzalez, strategically knowing when to use his push to pass on, well, which part of the lap. And Marcel Beck is in the grass. Marcel Beck, for one reason or another, was there contact? There was no contact. Marcel Beck just spun on his own. We saw throughout this race that Marcel was struggling with the rear end of the car, but he was able to drive around it for the time being. Well, it looks like it finally caught up to him. Roland Justin much closer to Tuki Gonzalez than he was on lap prior, I believe, which might force Tuki, indeed it has forced Tuki Gonzalez to use his push to pass on this part of the racetrack to not lose the lead to his teammate. Nathan Older opting not to use his, and neither did Antoine. They do have 4 push to passes left. They ideally should be using them now, given there's only, well, 2 laps remaining at most. Yeah, this will be the penultimate lap left in the race. So, white flag waving for Tuki Gonzalez, who so far has been leading virtually every single lap of the race so far. But under heavy pressure with Roland Justin. White flag isn't waving. Well, it should be. Or more or less. Unless my thing is wrong. Or penultimate. Either or. Juni is running in 6th place at the moment, improved from her qualifying position, and has pressured Beck into making a mistake. And so far, pressuring Nathan Oda for top 5's finish. Given that Juniper absolutely loves Road America, is what I would expect her to finish. Eastbrand Stopper using his penultimate push to pass to close himself very much up to the back of the IPK Arrow cars. And top 3 within 1 second of each other. Under second to Roland, under second to Eastbrand. And Juniper Bakova under 1 second to P5. And we see driver pulling into the pits. That will be one of the back marker teams, and that's the Jose. Not having the debut he would have preferred, down in 22nd position. But as we see, crossing onto the final lap of the race, Tuki Gonzalez still leading the race. Juniper under 1 second from Nathan Oda. Nathan over 2 seconds from Antoine. So unless Antoine makes a mistake, Nathan can forget about a podium place. Let's not curse Eastbrand now. Eastbrand hasn't put a foot wrong this race so far. Minor few sideways escapades. But the fight could reignite between Roland Justin and Tuki Gonzalez. Both of the push to passes are on cooldown. They will come alive in the final on the back straight. And within 3/10 of one another, Roland Justin has the advantage going down to the main straight. He will have the push to pass. And it says Tuki Gonzalez does not have push to pass. Both of them using it. And with added slipstream, Roland Justin has got a little bit of a connection issue there for myself. Oh good, I need a little bit of a chat check. How's the stream? Server issue? Yeah, there was a little bit of a lag, but Tuki Gonzalez will cross the line to take his first victory in Cyanide Racing, with Roland Justice securing IPK Arrow 1-2 Eastbrand Stopper with a podium finish in P3. Antoine on his debut P4. Nathan Oda championship leader P5. Juniper P6. Not her best finishing, her second best finishing position in the championship, with Kevin Vanne on his own debut P7. Another debutant P8 for Marceau. Had the pace to be even further, but just too loose for a car. Gideon Log takes P9. Boris Shakerdiev P10. And we see Jekański, the two Polish drivers, Jekański and Szydlecki, P11, P12. Imran will come across P13. And Charles Souza will take home P14. Just making his way across the start-finish straight now. And for those of you who are new to Cyanide Racing, second race we will have the top 10 resultants reversed. So we will have Tuki Gonzalez and Roland Justin P10 and P9, with Boris and Gideon P1, P2. For this stakes P15, Riksen 16, and Pavel Melnikov takes P17 on his debut in the series, I believe. Ciesielski fought his way back to P18 after that woeful spin with Boris and Christian Ibarra P19, Evangelos P20, P21 for Matt De Jose, 22 for Rinkan Shikimo, 23 for Apollos, Di Francesco 24, and Cesar Alexandrov 25. Spitzlam will take P26. So a big congratulations to Roland Justin and Tuki Gonzalez for the IPK Arrows 1-2. So what does chat think of this race one? It has been a quite a good race with a lot of action up and down the field. In the meantime, I will be back in 5 seconds. Right. Needy lost P1 had 5 Explorer pop up on your screen. Not what you want to see when you're leading the race, which is quite a terrifying thing, but well held indeed, even if you had that pop up for you. 2023 layout with the new S3. It's paid. Very unfortunate. Right. So those are the results for race 1, and this is going to turn the standings a little bit differently. Nathan Oda did not extend his lead like he probably would have hoped he would. However, he still has a commendable lead even with this result. So drivers will have to make sure he doesn't finish as high in race 2, given that everyone who finished ahead of him will be starting behind him. So if we go through the starting grid for next race, we will have Boris in pole position with Gideon Locke P2, if they come back. Marcel Beck will be P3 with Kevin Vanet P4. Juniper Markova will take P5 with Nathan Older alongside her in P6. Antoine Bun will take P7 with Isbrand P8, Roland Justin 9 and Tuki Gonzalez P10. And the rest of the grid will be as they have finished. Thank you to everyone who has followed. Your support is greatly appreciated for the Cyanide Academy. We only need 21 followers to be able to reach that 50 follower goal for Cyanide Academy. One of the requirements for the affiliate part, which will allow Cyanide some new functions on the streams, which would benefit the viewers a lot. So, here is your starting grid. Let's switch now, as we are in race 2. Jesus Christ, the corner names in this is mind-boggling and annoying. 11A. Okay, I am not going to go into the cornering names here at Road America. I have gone on about that in race 1 beforehand. Right, so 6 lights go on and 6 lights will go off. Let's see if we can have a clean getaway for change. And Boris gets a very good getaway. Marcel gets an even better getaway than second place holder. And down to turn 1, all the drivers go very fast corner. Most of the drivers making their way. We have a few drivers off the track, but most of the drivers making their way very cleanly around turn 1. Very well done to all the drivers, keeping themselves composed. We do have a little bit of a contact around the back. Souza and Di Francesco in the gravel. Juniper Makova already improving to P3. A blisteringly quick start for the American driver, and we have somebody in the vault. It's Vanit, and who else is there? Is that Tuki Gonzalez? Tuki Gonzalez. We have more contact further down the field. Drivers just tripping on each other. Come on, guys, give each other's room. Nathan Older now getting past Juniper Makova up to P3. A good start for the championship leader, with Marcel Beck now leading the race. He had a very good start as well. Boris still in P2, and Isbrand Stopper now making his way by the American driver. Isbrand will be the driver to watch out for in this current state. Tuki going backwards so far. Ask me how Shedletsky now goes by the American driver. Juniper back just the slot where back in position where she finished in race 1. He's gonna get the slipstream from the Polish driver and will be able to make a move into third 1 as Nathan Older makes his way by into second place. Right, Boris with the push to pass on Nathan Older. Nathan moving to defend. You see first retirement of the race, Pavel Melnikov. Boris will try around the outside, but outbreaks himself. He's going to put himself in the line of fire from Isbrand Stopper as Juniper will attempt to close the gap to Boris herself and take that 4th spot. Team Panther Racing we will have in just a few moments, but we do have a battle for position here. Juniper attempting around the outside of Boris. That was a very risky move. She has the slipstream. Boris just putting his car in the middle of the track, forcing Juniper to hang back for a little bit, but the straight is so long. Juniper easily makes her way by into 4th position. Tuki Gonzalez still falling back even further and further back, now up to P13. After such a wonderful race, Tuki just seems that his second race is gone from bad to worse, as he's definitely carrying some sort of damage. And he will be pulling into the pits. Very unfortunate for the race 1 winner. Juniper very wide, extending the definition of track limits in turn 1. Stretching it by quite a bit. Roland Justin in P17. Imran Shaikh attempting to make his way past Fortis and makes his way. Very clean move by the British driver, if that flag is correct. Ciesielski now up to P9. The Polish driver had quite the blisteringly quick start. It's right on board with the Polish driver. And this is battle for quite a high point paying position for midfield. Battle for P7. We are using the Formula 1 point system. Oh, as Fortis goes very much deep, this will allow CSFC very much to breeze on by. And improve himself out to P8. A good position for the Polish driver as Nathan Olda, Isbrand Stopper, the top three exchanging fastest laps. Juniper still within touching distance of the podium places. And we see Spitzlam spinning. Where on the track is that? That is on the back straight. Down the turns 11 and 11L. Shedleski still running in a very good position. So is Boris in fighting for the top 5 podium and not being able to make inroads too much. Tuki Gonzalez is back out of the pits with fixed car, but the race, unless something miraculous happens, I think that will be a race over for Tuki Gonzalez. Roland Justice in the same woes as well. Very unfortunate for IPK Arrows after such a dominant race one. Well, dominant, a wonderful race one. Coming to race 2, just being involved in incidents that most you hope wasn't their fault. As Michał Siedlecki on the brakes around the outside of turn 9. Very good move by the Polish driver. Let's switch on board for the top, well, 2 to 4. As a close battle is developing, Nathan Olda has the push to pass down the straight. Juniper Makova pressuring 3 times quicker than Isbrand on the last lap. Will have to restrain herself. And sit back and try to maintain slipstream distance down the back straight. As you see, another player disconnected is Imran Shaikh, disconnecting for one reason. Could it be that was a hardware failure? As we see Antoine Byrne making his way by Ciesielski. Antoine, most likely a recipient of some form of misfortune in opening laps, has to make his way back up the field. But is doing quite the good job as we see Christian Ibarra, another driver, to go back into the pits. And we see quite a few more retirements in the race today. And we see Tuki Gonzalez back in the pits as Juniper Makova just a 10th behind Isbrand. Again, not quite fast enough or close enough to make a move. Ciesielski is still maintaining a touching gap to Antoine Byrne for P7. And Nathan Olda catching to Beck on 1 second. That last lap is now under the 1 second. Who is that off on the track? Was that Beck? That looks like it was Beck on the grass again. A repeat of race 1. Muscle lost somewhat as Isbrand goes very deep in. That's gonna pull him very much into the clutches of Juniper. But that has allowed Nathan Olda to go into P1. And Beck will be fuming in that seat. A single mistake. And he's now 1 second behind the place he lost. And now under fire from Isbrand Stopper, who will be looking to better his best finishing position. Oh no, match his best finishing position from race number 1. And in fact, he very much does. Eastman stopper now P2. Marcel Beck still struggling. It looks like still struggling with oversteer in the car. The car just a little bit too much. Oh, could be getting too zealous on the throttle. Was Marcel Beck now? Oh, very, very close from Marcel. Saving that push to pass for the main straight and getting past back Eastbrand. Eastbrand, nothing he could have really done. Slipstream and push to pass on the straights. You're very much just a snack, really. All that infighting is allowing Nathan to just maintain the gap. We saw Nathan in race 1. Eastbrand very deep on the brakes. Marcel gets him back on the switchback. Good defensive driving by Marcel. Just allowed overzealous Eastbrand to go very much too deep. And we see that from Eastbrand quite often. When he attacks, he very much goes deep on the brakes. And it looks like Marcel has more than enough racecraft or experience to just allow Eastbrand a dive down the inside and get him back on the exit. Eastbrand now using his push to pass. Marcel again choosing to save his push to pass. For the main straight most likely. And again, look how close Juniper managed to get on, well, for these two fighting, basically. But again, now Marcel with the push to pass, whereas the other two just do not have it. And he's going to use it to retake second place once again. And the game of cat and mouse carries on, well, for another lap. Whatever the strategy Marcel is doing seems to be working quite well. Especially since Marcel is one push to pass down on Eastbrand, but and Eastbrand in turn is one push to pass down on Juniper. So Juniper in the strongest position here, and in fact in the best position to go challenge Nathan Oda, who himself is on 5 push to passes, and Eastbrand again deep on the brakes. Just keeps struggling and just allows Juniper to sail on by using a much cleaner drive through that corner. So Juniper now in the driving seat, and the first podium place, or the last podium place, sorry. Nathan using the push to pass to get away as quick as possible. We may be sensing danger from a Juniper who's much more composed on this round than she has been in the previous rounds at, well, the Cyanide Racing. 7 minutes left, and there is still a win on the cards for Dogbox Racing. As we see Antoine Byrne making his way by Boris thinking about a move down the inside, but Antoine just had too much speed in that corner. And Matt de Jose himself running in almost points playing position, just needs to get by Fotis to be able to score his first championship points at Cyanide Racing. Super Formula Challenge. So let's stay on board. In the slipstream, down the inside he goes, and he should have the move done before they get to the corner. In fact, he very much does. Takes the racing line. Fotis goes very wide, and that's a move done and dusted for the Filipino driver. I believe that's the right flag. And Eastbrand just harassing Juniper. But by doing that, he may be costing both of them lap time to the second place, the second podium place. Trimpakova with the push to pass. Eastbrand's choosing to stay in the slipstream instead and use that to pull himself along, or pull himself enough so now he is in fact with the push to pass advantage. And he's probably going to use the same tactic that Beck used against him, against Juniper, and use the push to pass on the start finish straight. Let's see. Yes, in fact he does. That push to pass is about 8/10 on the straight on a good day. Provided he gets a better exit and Juniper Makova doesn't get a better exit. And in fact, this seems what has happened. Juniper must have gotten a much better exit, which is why Isbrand was not gaining. And the only reason he got closer, was because of that push to pass. Indeed, to be honest, we can see that from the way that Beck was driving. Beck has a very loose car. In some cases, push to pass can be as much as 8/10. And we've seen that before on previous rounds where drivers have gained 8/10 against drivers who have not used push to pass. Again, we saw the difference. Yes, Beck and Makova both now using their push to passes. Isbrand will try and save it, and Isbrand really needs to focus on his corner exits. Indeed, Makova is now in full attack. There is 2 more laps remaining. The next lap will be the penultimate again. So Makova has 2 laps to make up another spot. So let's ride on board with the American driver. And let's witness the full attack mode. We have 6 retirements in this race already. A high attrition rate on race 2, much higher than in race 1. Reverse grid is like a double-edged sword. You do get a lot of chances created, but a lot of chances for surprise results, but a lot of chance for chaos as well. And Nathan Older maintaining that 2-second gap. Ooh, you could see it, the underseat of the car just sliding 4 wheels forward instead of turning. As we see Marcel Beck losing the car, promoting Juniper up to P2. He's still with P3, but for how long? As it's Isbrand stopper with a push to pass still available to him. You should really use it right now while he's got the advantage and his opponent without push to pass. Isbrand down the inside he attempts, but ooh, that was a miscalculation by Isbrand stopper not to use the push to pass. Had he used it, he would have had that spot very easily. But Beck for now, ooh, very wide for Beck, and across, cuts across. Isbrand stopper Marcel Beck suffering from that lower downforce setup, losing the rear and ending up in the wall. Marcel getting on the way, but Michał Siedlecki on course for his best finishing position, P4. Michał Siedlecki hasn't put a foot wrong in this race so far. Can Beck fight back? He will have a lot. As we see wheel battle, proper melee between Ciesielski and Szekerdie. As Antoine Boone now looking for another top 5 finish himself. Oh, it's getting bad to worse for Beck. And Beck will be suffering with overheated tires. His tires will have no grip after those 2 spins. And we know Antoine is a fast driver from the first race. On his debut, he's already making a mark. Oh, again, Marcel, very wild on the exit. Just doesn't have the grip he needs to maintain that top 5. And again, it's a half spin for Marcel, which sends Antoine into the wall. And down the parking order, it promotes Boris and Chichelski, P6, P7. Oh, a disaster for the Frenchman. Oh, and it was looking so good for Antoine. He's now under pressure from Kevin, his teammate. As Nathan Oda crosses the finish line to win yet another round at Sinai Racing, Juniper Markova with a wonderful second place. A good, excellent result, her best yet, with Isbrand another podium place. Could have been P2. Michał Siedlecki taking home his best result in P4. Boris takes P5 with Beck maintaining that P6. Chichelski takes a P7. Kevin Vanet P8. Oh, he managed to get past his teammate Antoine Bud, whose final lap just devolved into disaster, with Matt De Jose securing his first points on his debut. Oh, Beck has lost P5 right at the end, so Boris able to get ahead of the driver. Fotix takes home P11, just one outside of the points, as Apelles takes P12 with Jekanski coming across the start-finish straight now in P13. Rickson will take P14 and Evangelos P15, which will leave Charles in 16. And it's 17-18 for the 1-2 finishes of race 1. A heartbreak for both of the IPK Arrow drivers, with Christian Ibarra P20, Imran P21, 23, 22 for Spitzlam, 23 for Di Francesco. And, what a race have we had! And a lot of work I had by myself, so I'm gonna go take a drink for this one moment. But congratulations to Nathan Older for winning and rescuing some much needed points in race number 2. Much to quite a few people's dismay. Indeed, so let us have interviews here today. What's the time? Okay, I've got about 10 minutes, so very short interviews, only top 3. Only top 3 both races, as I have another. Alright, so let's go in. Juniper, you were the first one to say you would like an interview. That was your best. Hello and welcome. Congratulations on today's result. That was your best round in Cyanide to date.
Yeah, I didn't think, I mean, especially with me having throttle issues before the race, I didn't think it'd be getting the podium, to be honest.
Well,
that was fun. That was fun.
It seems like Road America is just a track made specifically for you. Every single time you seem to race on it, you just seem...
American.
Yeah,
American. Home field advantage, baby.
home field advantage, indeed. But how was it out there for you? You said it was quite fun. How was it battling the drivers ahead of you? And quite a lot of times, the drivers just seem to fold under the pressure as soon as you appeared in their rearview mirror.
Yeah, dude, I just kept it consistent. They didn't. That's about all.
Consistent. At the end of the day, consistency is half of the battle.
Yeah.
But congratulations. Are you hoping to take this momentum into the future rounds in Cyanide?
For sure. Singapore, I'm not sure how that'll go with that, but I know the rounds after, I know I should be able to do pretty good. So, especially Moss, because Moss is a track I know like the back of my hand.
Well, we're definitely happy to hear that, and I will have to be very quick with the interviews, as I do have another commentating duty at Project Endurance. So, very well done.
Get the people in here.
Indeed, very well done on your results, and What can I say? Congratulations, and hope you'll be able to bring more good results for Dogbox Racing.
Mhm.
So, anything you would like to add from your end?
Not really. Just hope
Oh.
I can do the same. Hope I can do the same again.
Like we did see quite a few incidents, especially on like the race restarts, and you were able just to avoid them through a miracle
Yeah.
of driving.
I did get caught in the first one, in the on the first race when we after the restart. I did get tagged in that one, but I don't know how I did die in that one because I was like full opposite lock, and
And you
somehow
were
survived that.
and you were still able to recover to a good, was it P5 finish in race
Yeah, I
one?
think it was P5. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was just a wonderful display of driving. Well, thank you for joining us, Juniper Makova, and good luck in your next rounds.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself. And who was next? I think it was Roland Justin. Roland, a wonderful IPK 1-2 in race one.
Yeah.
Actually, let's bring your teammate into here as well. Tuki Gonzalez and Roland, congratulations on your
Hello.
1-2 in Cyanide Racing.
Thank you.
That was
really amazing race one. I am really glad with our positions. I am a bit disappointed that I didn't win.
yeah. You two, it seems like you two were not. There was no team orders whatsoever. You two were just gloves off.
Because what happened once, he made a mistake. He went off a bit because his file explorer.
Yeah, File Explorer. It popped up in the middle of my screen, mid-corner,
And
so...
I took him because of that, and I let him back pass, if you noticed. So I didn't want to win a race like that. Still
Fair.
really frustrated I didn't win though, so I could have definitely won it on pace.
Fair enough. Race one was just IPK Arrow
Yeah.
masterclass, but race two, it just seems
Yeah,
you were.
race 2, I rather would not say anything, otherwise I will get myself banned from this league, so I'm just gonna stay quiet.
Yeah, fair enough.
And me, yeah, I absolutely out of my control. I was making an overtake, and then someone else who was just in the middle of it just completely forgot to brake and took me out of the race. Similar to what happened in Montreal, where I was just completely got squeezed into a wall.
Bit of a weird decision, in my opinion, not to restart that race, but whatever the stewards decide, it's their decision. So
Yeah.
Indeed, there was
I'm not gonna
much less
anything.
chaos, and it was just a few drivers tripping over each other more than like massive power laps.
alright.
So I think there was like only 7 cars out of 26 that participated that ended up facing the wrong way or in the wall.
I
And
think that's
unfortunately, it
according
seems
to the
like
cars, but
I still think that's a
you
lot,
want-
to be honest.
well, that is the
That's like a quarter of the grid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think especially with the case of no safety car being run, I think that there needs to be a bit more
Yeah.
leeway. At least at like a minimum of 1 restart, and then obviously anything
Yeah,
beyond that.
Race, because race 1 had a restart, of course,
in it. Well,
but race 2 would have needed one as well, I think.
stewards' discretion at the end of the day, and feel free to
Yeah.
pass your feedback on to the stewards.
Don't worry.
They will always try
Right,
to improve the race. But again, it's still a 1-2. And are you guys hoping
Yeah,
to be
that's-
able to repeat that in Singapore?
I'm not hoping for anything, because
Yeah, Singapore is a weak track.
But I'm just saying, like, you might see a special livery being used by us.
Yay,
This
more.
is a bit of a hint. Of course, I'm not sure if you have seen so far, but our current livery has a bit of glow in the dark
Probably
tomfoolery. So in
Probably-
Singapore, get ready for more of that, hopefully.
if we get Singapore at night, then maybe we will
Yeah.
have to see. Given
I
how
think it will be at night if it works. So
if it works and doesn't blow up people's computers.
yeah.
How many people raced today?
That was 26 drivers on the grid
26,
today.
I don't know how we're
That's
gonna
a
get that
really
many in
nice grid.
Singapore.
I'll be honest.
I mean, I hope we don't, because even with 10 cars, Singapore is mad.
well,
Hmm.
I do have an extension pit for Singapore, so we do have,
And-
I think, up to 40 car grids down Singapore.
Do we have any information? Is this gonna be the current Singapore layout or the previous one?
I think it most likely will be current, given that the 23 is a paid mod.
No
Alright.
worries.
So again, congratulations to both of you. I have to do quick
Thank
fire interviews today. Any final words from yourselves?
No, none. Thanks for commentating on the race.
No worries, and good luck in the next rounds, lads. And
Yeah.
let's bring in race 2 winner Nathan. That race 1 just didn't go as well as you'd hope. The car did not look quite in domination as it's been for the past 4 races beforehand. But race 2, it seemed like everything felt just right.
Yeah, race 1, I don't know what happened. I managed to get up to P2, I think. I just passed Justin, I think, to get to P2. And then I thought, right, I'll settle down. I had a good top speed compared to those two guys, so I was happy. Made a small mistake into turn 2 on the grass. Ended up in about P4, and then a couple of guys around me then had amazing top speed, and it's like you're just stuck. Then you're making unforced errors, and it goes from bad to worse, yeah. But race 2, like you say, I hung it out on the outside in turn 1 and prayed that they didn't have an accident on the inside. And luckily for me, yeah, went straight through up to P3, I think it was at the start, and then yeah, made my way to the front, and the car felt good in race 2, so I was able to hold on to the win, and I think I've got the fastest lap as well.
I do think you have got the fastest lap, and your championship. I think you may have even been able to maintain your championship gap. Probably expanded it a little bit, given that the duo of Rowan Justin and Tuki Gonzalez have been out in race 2, pretty much.
In race 2, yeah, you might be right there, yeah. And Johan didn't race, did he? So he was obviously missing points today. But yeah, it looked quite encouraging. The first race, it was almost damage limitation. But the second race, yeah, really went well, and like you say, the key opponents ended up with bad results there.
And it's always the the sum of the results that you take from each weekend at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, we all got a drop round, so there's always that to come into play. But yeah, if a bad race is P5, then that's not too bad.
Not bad indeed. And final question: are you hoping that you'll be able to bounce back into a double victory in Singapore?
I like Singapore, so yeah, I prefer Singapore to Road America. It's just a track I've never done well at Road America, but yeah, it depends on how high we have the damage set in Singapore, because I like a bit of damage, so you get rewarded for keeping it clean and out the wall. So if the damage is set high, then yeah,
so
could be
people should be
interesting.
afraid of your results in Singapore, then, what you're saying?
I wouldn't say be afraid, but yeah, I'm hoping to be stronger in Singapore than I was in Road America. Yeah.
Well, any final words for yourself, Nathan?
No, I just need to go back over race 1 again and see where I got it wrong, and see if I can learn from that and improve for the next one, really.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Nathan, and congratulations on your race 2 victory and still being the championship leader by quite a long shot.
Thanks, guys. It's been good again. So yeah, looking forward to the next one.
Indeed. Good luck in your next endeavours, and let's bring in the double podium sitter, Eastbrand. I believe it was double P3 for you today.
Yes, correct.
Let me just turn up your volume for a moment. There we go. That should be good. There we go.
Nice. Yes, correct. 3 or 2 P3s. Also pretty clean.
Pretty keen, and your best result overall here at Cyanides, and that should put you in quite a good championship contention going forward.
Really? I mean, Nathan is still running away with it. Hey, but at least, no. 2 P3, I'm not going to complain about it.
No, 2 P3s is a very good result, Nathan. Still leading away, but given how strong you performed here today, it seems like the one thing that I keep saying you were missing, the consistency, has been here today, and it pretty much showed. Double P3 was wonderful. Are you hoping to be able to maintain that going forward into Singapore?
Yes, because around Singapore, that's like a street circuit. The problem was, I don't know if you noticed how often you were my onboard, I had no straight line speed. Yeah, that's because some people, like the French guy, I don't know, I forgot the name.
Antoine?
Like super quick and straight line, right? Like super low wings. I was running 23.9 on the wings, so
we have seen
drivers like Roland was running 18.6, you know, so
that's quite
a big variation.
Yeah, big variation. We have seen quite extremes. I believe Marcel was running much lower wings, and we could see, especially through that right-hander after the back straight, he's been sideways almost every single time we've seen him go through that corner.
Wow. Did you see the overtaken it and around the outside of him for that right-hander?
I think we
showed a big difference in like downforce levels.
I think the top 5, everybody in top 5 has had majority of the screen time, so we'll have to go through the.
But yeah, I'm hoping that I'll be more on pace in the next few races, because those this track really loves low downforce.
There's a few low downforce settings and a few a few sections where you need the high downforce, like in the carousel.
Yeah, the first corner was always flat for me, like easily. That's the big difference.
Yeah,
So some parts I'm way faster, but in a straight I have a different advantage.
And I do believe you and Juniper were running very similar setups from what it was same on the
yes,
on the straights.
Juniper was running 21.7.
So slightly lower
I have
than
2
yourself.
clicks up on both, yeah.
But it seemed like today everything went well, from your strategy of push the passes to be honest, even the setup seemed to have maybe helped you maybe conserve those tires just a little bit more than others.
Oh yeah, it's super smooth, right? That's like the big thing. Super smooth car, the drive, and it flies through corners, so I never had to be scared of like losing time to other cars in front of me.
Sometimes that's what you need over the entirety of lap time at the end of the day.
Yeah, because when you're like on a low downforce, you might be like pushing too hard, not gaining in the corners, and the straight it's even, and then you're like losing time altogether.
Indeed. Well, congratulations to your Eastman on double podium. Hope this form continues in the future races. Do you have any else you would like to add from your side?
No, except for can't wait for Singapore. That's a great track. I like that one. And yeah, I'll see you in 2 weeks, I guess.
Indeed. Well, we will see you in 2 weeks. Enjoy the rest of your day, and good luck in the future endeavors. In the meantime, well, what a race have we had today. Quite a lot of drama, especially race 2, and we have had some good result from IPK Arrows to put himself a little bit further up in the team's championship. Nathan prevailing in the second race to maintain his championship lead, and we will have to see what Singapore brings to us. I hope everybody enjoyed there. Thank you, Cyanide, for hosting such a wonderful event. Thank you to all the drivers for participating in 26 cars. I mean, it's just what you want to see. Any league owner wants to see is a full grid of 26 drivers who keep it mostly clean and reduce the workload a little bit. And thank you to all the viewers. We had 23 peak from what I've seen on my end, maybe more, maybe less, but hope you enjoyed yourself a lot watching the race, and we'll hope to see you in the next event. Take care of yourselves and enjoy this outro.